Good afternoon, everybody. It's time for another Chuck Chat. Hope everybody's doing well and enjoying the holiday season here at Westminster. I know I am. Always like to start off with a little humor. So here we go. Christmas group therapy. I don't believe in myself. I think I'm bipolar. All the other reindeer laugh and call me names. I'm trapped in a dead-end job, says the elf. How Santa really finds out which reindeer can fly. And you can see the reindeer being pulled to the edge of the cliff and let go. Dang, let's try another one, Santa says. If you get lumps of coal in your stocking, is it because you've been bad or you believe in domestic energy independence? Peace on earth, goodwill towards men. There's an app for that. Of course there is. There's an app for everything. If I've told you once, I've told you a million times. Rudolph, no texting while you're driving the team. So COVID in Westminster, our numbers since March 9th of 2020, we have 37 cases total of COVID amongst our residents. All have recovered. We have one active case at this time with light symptoms. And that resident's in independent living. A letter went out today. We have no associate cases. We've had 54 since this pandemic began. And again, no active cases at this time. We have tested 11,156 individuals with an infection rate of 1.1%. So that's really very good. 99.7% vaccinated residents and 99.7% fully vaccinated associates with boosters. COVID precautions still remain in effect. Residents are not required to wear a mask if vaccinated. But if you're in doubt and you think you have symptoms, you should wear a mask as a precaution. All others, including visitors and associates, must wear a mask at all times, regardless of their vaccination status. Visitation is allowed with no restriction on number. Group visits of more than 2 should occur in the resident's apartment home so that common spaces are reserved for resident enjoyment. Up to 2 guests are allowed in the dining room at breakfast and lunch only. Transportation services are at full capacity with masks in place, and trips will be slowly ramping up as the schedule and capacity allows. Masks must be worn in healthcare, assisted living, and when on transportation services. This includes residents. No guests in the audience for activity programs still. Quarantine only for those who are symptomatic or direct contact with a positive person. Continue to practice good hand hygiene, please. Washing and or sanitizing hands often. Avoid gatherings outside of Westminster, especially large gatherings. Continue to practice social distancing whenever possible. Please stay home if you are ill. If you're in doubt, if you have upper respiratory symptoms, stay home. Call our clinic and we'll be happy to come to you. Residents should wear masks when outside of Westminster and on Westminster transportation and in healthcare and assisted living. Healthcare visitation guidelines is limited to 2 visitors at a time for both assisted living and healthcare. Everyone, including residents, must wear a mask at all times while visiting the assisted living and healthcare center. Please follow all precautionary guidelines, including wearing masks, screening in, hand washing, and sanitizing. Please contact health services reception desk if you have any questions. And all visitors, including independent living residents, must screen in to both the assisted living and the arbor. Questions and answers, December 17th. Can you remind residents to use the outgoing mail slot in the mailroom? Yes. Please use the outgoing mail slot in each mailroom. Do not place mail on the floor. Can you tell us where our recycling goes? Yes. Our recycling is picked up by Waste Management and taken to a recycling plant in Kyle, Texas. Another question, when the bistro reopens, will the furniture in the adjacent corridor be moved and the drapery shortened so the handrail is accessible? There is no furniture scheduled for the new corridor. We will discuss drapery with the interior designer. Question, the soap dispensers in the solarium bathrooms aren't accessible to people in using walkers or wheelchairs. Can they be lowered? Thank you for bringing this issue to our attention and we will address. Why is the Preston third floor laundry area light switch set on a timer that doesn't come on until after 6 a.m.? Again, there is no timer on these lights. There is a motion sensor that activates the lights in this area. Since this continues to be a concern, we will remove the sensor and install a regular light switch that can be turned off and turned on manually. Why is the second person fee increasing more than the monthly fee? So the monthly fee is increasing 3% and the second person fee increased 3.5%. The reason for that is, in our market study, we have found that the second person fee offers a significantly higher discount compared to other senior livings. And we needed additional dollars to maintain the 2022 budget goals. We do our best to be as least impactful as possible when we pass on increases, knowing that each time we pass on an increase, it matters to the residents. That was the best we could do to make up the budget deficit and still be least impactful. We do our best to keep all increases as low as possible and have done so year after year. Why is the water fountain at the Windsor North entrance still labeled out of order and covered? Again, I've said this many times, that area is the primary entrance to the healthcare center and is regulated as a skilled nursing facility. Because of that, it is regulated differently than the rest of the campus. So the restrictions and precautions are more stringent in that location. That's why it is out of service. Question, can you remind residents to stay safe during the holidays, monitoring for COVID, the flu, upper respiratory systems, and stay home if sick? Strep throat is also going around Austin, so avoiding large crowds if possible. Yes, please remember to continue to be vigilant and cautious. Wear your mask outside of Westminster. At any time you think you might have any symptoms, wear your mask as a precaution. Stay home if you're sick and practice good hygiene, especially hand hygiene. And when you're wearing a mask, don't touch your mask. Construction update, just to give you an idea of what's going on. We're making a lot of progress. Let me put my glasses on here. The progress will cease on the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. The job site will shut down. They're doing flashing and preparing for window openings to have windows installed. Frame exterior walls and bridge is being completed this week. They're also doing the exterior sheathing. You may notice that they use two different colors. They ran out of the green and had to purchase some additional sheathing. And unfortunately, they couldn't find green to match, so they ended up with the purple stuff. But it works just as well. So that's being applied and should be completed by Christmas Eve. The majority of it's been done by now. Let's see here. Locker rooms are being completed. The floors are being installed as we speak. The Harris Bell Hall expansion, the carpet has been installed. They're installing the pedestal pavers on the deck that's going to be outside of Harris Bell Hall. The overhead inspections are occurring shortly. Painting is being completed. New cabinets installed, the countertops installed, making great progress there. The Windsor infill tower, millwork has been installed. The wall base and trim is being installed this week on all the floors. So we're making great progress there as well, on schedule. And let's see here. We're doing the air conditioning, should actually be coming on shortly in the infill tower this week, actually. Harris Bell Hall addition will be completed mid-January, so that's still on schedule. Now, we may not have all the AV installed, so we'll be waiting for some of that. But Harris Bell Hall's room will be turned over to us. Some of the AV equipment's back ordered. The bistro will be completed also mid-January. Here's a picture of the Windsor Tower construction. Again, you can watch this and the Carlisle live on the resident portal. So if you need access, let marketing know and they can help you with that, or any reception desk. Community update. I talked to you a little bit about the solar project that we have planned. This is a picture of the Preston and the Windsor roof and what was planned for those areas. We've added to the project at the request of the board installation on the Carlisle building as well. Altogether, the project is going to save a lot of trees and produce a lot of electricity. The total cost for the all-campus solar for us, Westminster, after the incentive, is going to be about $526,000. The energy cost savings over the life of the project to Westminster will be more than $1.6 million. So we're estimated to save in energy costs 3 times what we're spending, maybe more. That's a very conservative estimate with the cost escalation of 3% over 25 years. So it's likely we'll save much more than that. The environmental benefits of our solar project, we will produce 18 billion kilowatts. That's billion kilowatts of energy. We will save 13.9 million pounds of coal that will not have to be burned to power our buildings. We will also save 5,125 flights not taken, about 2,775 cars taken off the road, or the equivalent of 210,000 trees planted. We will reduce our carbon footprint by 12,743 metric tons over the life of the project. So it's pretty cool. We'll also be one of the first senior living communities in the United States to have a solar project on its buildings. Trailblazers as usual. Dining services, reservations, just reminders, please make reservations for tables of 5 or more. No reservations are required for 4 or less. No tables allowed for larger than 7 seats at this time in the dining room. For parties of 8 or more, please contact Sarah Faust for a reservation of the private dining room. Delivery is available from 7 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Some updates for the community. Harrisville Hall and the Bistro is nearing completion and expected again in mid-January. We have applied for the liquor licenses for our Preston and Carlisle dining venues. Notices are required to be posted for 60 days, and we're in that intake period. It's almost completed, should be actually able to remove those signs at the end of this month. The Windsor LED lighting project has been completed, the first phase of that project. We have some additional phases that we'll be completing in 2022. The keyless entry system is still coming soon. The first quarter of 2022 is likely. The infrastructure work so the power requirements for its independent Wi-Fi system has been completed. So they're actually in the Preston that was completed, and they're completing it in the Windsor as we speak. The new cable service boxes have stopped. We stopped the installation on them until they straighten out the programming issue. That issue has now been resolved, and it's should be just a matter of time before we're allowed to finish the installation. That installation should begin again shortly after Christmas. It takes a few days for them to make the corrections in the programming, but the amendments have been dealt with, and the issue at Spectrum has been corrected. So I apologize for the inconvenience to those residents that have had their cable boxes installed already, and the programming will be back. Reminders to residents and personal service providers, please do not flush briefs, Depends, wet wipes, washcloths, towels, etc. down the toilets. That really stops up the works and makes a mess for everyone. If you wish to have an overnight guest, please contact the Health and Wellness Office to log them in through there so we can keep track. Please turn off your car and roll up windows and lock doors when leaving your vehicle in the parking lots or the parking garage. Please do not leave valuables in your vehicles. That's just a safety precaution. And some reminders for emergencies. We've had some confusion over the last couple months. When the fire alarm goes off, don't run around the halls. Don't leave your apartment. Please shelter in place in your apartment home unless asked by the fire department or Westminster staff to vacate your apartment. Do not call reception. That's not necessary. And all clear will be announced over the emergency call system when the issue is resolved. So again, if there's a fire alarm, please shelter in place. There's no need to leave your apartment. We will tell you if you need to vacate, okay? Tornado warnings, on the other hand, we will announce over the emergency system and the phone system in the common areas. And at that point, if there's a tornado warning, please vacate your apartment home and move to an interior corridor, shutting your door behind you. Shelter in the corridor until an announcement of all clear is made over the phone system and the resident emergency system. Again, fire alarms, shelter in place. Tornado warning, shelter in the hall, okay? Try not to get those two confused. If you have any questions, let me know. 2021 has been a really good year despite COVID and all the things that we've had to deal with. A lot of awards we have won and our residents have won. We've had some deficiency-free surveys in assisted living and skilled nursing. We're 5 stars ranked for the 13th year. Robin Akins was awarded Emerging Leader this year by Leading Age Texas, and 17 residents that reached 100 years plus. We refinanced, we maintained a BBB rating or investment rating. We also made the Best Nursing Home Honor Roll by US News and World Report, and that's our 14th year of doing that. And again, Alzheimer's fundraising, 75,000 plus, our top workplace award, 8 years in a row, deficiency-free audits, and the JD Power Award for Senior Living. That's our 2nd year, and I just received word last week that we will be receiving that for the 3rd year in a row. So very cool. Extraordinary Impressions star cards, just a reminder that you can fill these out for any associate that goes above and beyond. You can fill out a star card for them and pat them on the back. These get shared with the associates, and they're also collected and prizes are given out to the associates. And we have a star card of the year that's awarded, which our award ceremony will likely be in February, and I'll let you know more about that as we get closer. Thank you to everyone for decorating their doors. The contest winners are Kathy Kelly, apartment 462. She won 1st prize. 2nd prize, Kathy Akers, apartment 326. 3rd prize, Julie Cripes, apartment 531. So if you get a chance, go stop by and look at those apartment doors. They look great. Honorary mentions, Robert and Margaret Kelly, apartment 1010, and Jan Roberts, apartment 241. So make some time, go visit those doors if you get a chance. Congratulations to the winners, and thank you all for participating. Westminster Door Decorating Contest for the associates. It was a tie for first place, and it was really a great job done by all. Appreciate everybody participating in that. The accounting department and Cassie Haley, the community administrator, both won 1st place. It was just too tight to call. They both did an extremely good job decorating their doors. The 2nd prize went to marketing, and 3rd place went to plant operations department, with honorary mentions of Ev, our wellness coordinator, and the MDS office on the 2nd floor of the Arbor. So take some time to visit these doors as well, and congratulations to the winners. So I wanted to end this presentation with something I used to listen to when I was a kid, and I thought it'd be neat to include in this Chuck Chat. So maybe some of you have heard it before. Let's see if it works, huh?
This is Louis Satchmo Armstrong talking to all the kids from all over the world at Christmas time. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. But out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away through the window, I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Thunder and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the house top, the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkle, I heard on the roof the prancing, the pawing of each little hoof. As I drew my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed, like a bowl of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf. And I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know that I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team, gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down down on a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night, a very good night. And that goes for Satchmo too. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. Happy holidays to everybody. I hope that you've enjoyed the holiday season and continue to. Thank you all for the cards and notes. I appreciate that so much. It means a lot to me. That's my greatest gift, I think, every year, the kindness in your hearts and what you tell me in those notes and cards. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and Happy New Year. And thank you as always. Until next time.